Hello and welcome everybody, Marcus Small here from thesmallman.com. Well, today we're going to be talking about the scripting dictionary. I'm going to go through how to set up a scripting dictionary reference. We're going to have a look at adding keys and items to that dictionary. We'll count all the keys inside the dictionary. We'll remove a single item specifically. Then we'll remove everything. And then we'll compare text. So only the items that you want in the dictionary go in there. Yeah? Now, the basic premise of the dictionary is that it takes on keys and items. So, for example, if you had a key called, say, your IT department, yeah? And that key had an associating item of, say, its budget. And say its budget was $85,000, yeah? Well, you might have another key called finance, and the finance budget was, say, $120,000, yeah? And this is the key, and this is the associated item, key, item, okay? Now, I'll show you how to add simple keys and items inside of VBA, yeah? And then we'll start manipulating the data as we go. All right, let's press Alt F11 to go into the back end of Excel, and let's set up a procedure. So we're going to call this procedure sub. We're going to call it script key, yeah, because I'll focus on the key. We press enter, Excel comes up with the end sub, all good. So we're going to declare our variable first, and we're going to dim D short for dictionary as a variant, yeah. Now, I'm going to show you two ways to do this. So this is how you reference the dictionary in a very simplistic way. And then I'm going to show you how to do it using Microsoft Scripting Runtime. Now, you don't need to reference Scripting Runtime in order to access the dictionary. Yeah? You can do it just as I'm doing it right now. It's better practice to use the Microsoft Scripting Runtime, but I'll show you both methods. So you've got all the tools you need to make your own decisions. Okay, so we'll set our dictionary equal to, now we'll create an object. You get pretty attuned with creating an object, and the object is going to be, in quotation marks, and I usually spell this wrong, scripting.dictionary. All right, scripting dictionary. Now, notice how I capitalized this and didn't capitalize this. It doesn't matter. Like it really doesn't matter. You can have them both in lowercase, both in uppercase. It won't matter. As long as you spell it correctly, that's your reference to the scripting dictionary. And as I said in the introduction, a dictionary has keys and items. Now, traditionally, when you're working with ranges, you set the item to being the key. Now, just for demonstration purposes, I'll show you how you can use the .add method to add the key and the item, yeah? So what we do is we say dictionary.add, yeah? And what are we adding? So let's add a key, and we'll call it key 1, yeah? Now, notice that's in quotation marks. Now, the syntax for the add methodology is like this. It goes, what's your key, comma, what's your item, yeah? So key, comma, item. So to get an associated item, we type a comma, and then in quotation marks, it's I1, short for item, yeah? Okay, so that is effectively our first reference. Notice the add has been made uppercase. Now, let's copy this guy and let's paste it here, yeah? Now, what the dictionary does is it adds unique keys to its library, yeah? So in this instance, I haven't altered the second line. I've added a duplicate key, yeah? So when I run through the code by pressing F8, when I get to the first one, it'll add the key and the item, no problem. But when I get to the second one, I get an error because it needs to add unique keys to the dictionary. It's a bit like a normal dictionary. You don't see a word spelled twice in the dictionary having two entries, yeah? Like holiday. You wouldn't be holiday spelled the same as the second entry saying, you know, a holiday is a trip, and the second one said a holiday is a trip. Yeah, it just doesn't happen. dictionaries are unique entries, yeah? So in order to get this second item into the dictionary, I have to say 2 and 2. And before I show you, I just put a third one just for symmetry. We'll just add a third reference to the dictionary, and we'll say 3 and 3. So key 1, key 2, and key 3. So now that they're all unique, I can run through the dictionary, and you'll notice that it all goes through, so it's nice and tickety-boo, yeah? Now, what if we want to see what's actually happening inside that dictionary? Well, we can actually output that information, yeah? So we can say, oh, we want to debug and print the information, so we'll say debug.print, and then we want to debug the keys and the items. So we say d.keys, and then open and close bracket, and then just say the item number. Now, just a little caveat, it's item 0. Dictionaries work the same way as arrays, if you're familiar, yeah? An array traditionally starts at 0 and then starts counting 0, 1, 2, 3, unless you tell it otherwise, yeah? So it's the same with the dictionary. The first item that goes in is 0, yeah? And then we type a comma, and then we want to get the d.items, yeah? And then we close our bracket, and then it's item 0, yeah? All right, so let's have a look at what that might look like. We'll press Control G to bring up the immediate window. So Control G, and the immediate window pops up. Now this is where things get printed. So we can see, oh, okay, key 1 is the first instance, the item 1 is its associated item, or I1, yeah? So we'll just F8 through the procedure until we get to the debug line, and we should see the key and the item pop up in here. So I'll press F8 now, and there we have it. Key 1, I1. So this is one entry, yeah? Now, if we wanted to extend that to see it all, we have to put 2 new entries in, and we have to make sure that we say 1, 1, and 2, 2 for the second and third instance of our dictionary, yeah? So I'll clear this, and then we'll go through, I'll press F9, and then we'll press F5 to run straight down to there, and then F8 to run each line at a time, where we should see the immediate window filling up nicely. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So that gives us some confidence that what's going into our dictionary is unique. Now, we can also count the items that are inside the dictionary, so those unique items. But what I thought I might do is I might sort of do a little bit of a sidebar here, and I've shown you 2 examples. So basically getting information into the dictionary and then printing the data out using the immediate window. Now what I might do is I'll close the immediate window to buy myself some real estate, and what I'll show you is how you create a dictionary object using Microsoft Scripting Runtime. Now there are advantages to doing this. You can put the dictionary in the watch window and watch things in real time, and you can also have a look at the locals window and watch what's happening with our dictionary, yeah? So the way that we do that is we go to the Tools menu and we go References, and you can see when you go in, there's no reference to Microsoft Scripting Runtime. So you come down to the M's, and then there it is there. So Microsoft Scripting Runtime. So as soon as you get that, as soon as you tick on it, click OK. Now, I just thought of another advantage. When you create a reference to a dictionary, you get access to IntelliSense. You'll see when I go D. There's nothing popping up from an IntelliSense perspective, yeah? So once I create the reference to the scripting dictionary, I get access to IntelliSense. So I can see all of the objects that I've got access to. And I'll give you an example, yeah? So we'll just write this one from scratch. So we'll say sub we'll say script count, yeah? And that's interesting. Oh, I spelt sub wrong. I was like, why didn't it do that automatically? I'm great at making typos, but just bear with me. Okay, so what we want to do is now we want to dim D as our new dictionary. See how IntelliSense picked that up? Yep. It wouldn't have done it before because it wasn't in our IntelliSense library. Yeah. By putting a reference to the Microsoft Scripting runtime, it became available. Yeah. So now we want to do the same thing that we've done up here. I might actually just copy this. Yeah. So if you're following along, just copy it. Yeah. So set D equals the scripting dictionary. Yeah. All right, good stuff. So we might do these from scratch as well. So we'll say D dot add. So we get action to add. Did you notice that? That we get access now to IntelliSense. It's got all of the objects that we could use. So we'll say add, and then we want to say I'll do the same example. Key 1, and then it's good practice, comma, and then the item comes second, and then it's I1. Yeah, and make sure you put them in quotation marks. I'll frequently forget to put a quotation mark on either side. And then we'll just copy that, and then we'll paste it, tab it in, and do the same again. Make sure I start from here. Oh no, I meant to go in a little bit. Okay, good. All right, so that gives us our 3 items. Oh, we've got to change that so it's unique. So it's 2, 2, and 3, 3. You can see this is a little bit laborious, but it's just for demonstration purposes. In the next video, I'll show you how to work with ranges, which is far more practical, and it's what you'll be doing 99.9% of the time if you buy into this part of the VBA language, yeah? All right, so what we want to do is we want to count the items. So we might count those items using a message box. So we'll say MSG box dot, so we'll say d.count. And you'll see we get access to IntelliSense, yeah? All right, so I'll just press F9, and that puts a breakpoint. And I'll just move this down a little bit so we'll buy a bit more real estate. I'm about halfway up the screen. All right, so what we want to do is run the procedure. So I'll just hit the run button rather than hitting F5. So we'll run it. And now we're down to this line. If I just run it again, what I get is 3 items inside of our dictionary. Yeah? So we click OK. Now that's very handy. You go, well, what's the point of that, Marcus? Well, no, the dot count is extremely handy when you want to output a range. You've got the information into the dictionary via a range. Now you know the size and the shape of the dictionary. Say the dictionary's 10 strong, so it's 10 lines long. Well, you've got that. You've trapped that. You can resize a range and place that dictionary inside the range in a single line of code, and I'll go into that in more detail, yeah? But I'll just show you some of the things that you can do using this rather simplistic sort of method of taking information, looking at the size, the shape of the dictionary, removing items from the dictionary, yeah? So we can remove information as well. So I could say D dot, and you'll see I'll get IntelliSense helping me. I want to remove, and I'll remove a single item, yeah? And I have to tell it which item I want to remove. So in this instance, I'm going to say I want to remove key 1, yeah? And then what we'll do is we'll press control. No, I won't have a look at. No, I was going to print these guys out. So what I might do is I might have a look at this in the watch window. So I'll go view, and then I'll go watch window. All right, so I'll watch that, and then I'll bring the D over and push that into there, yeah? So I can watch what's going on over here, yeah? So we'll press F8, F8, F8. Okay, so we've started the process. There's nothing in our dictionary, yeah? Nothing at all. So I'll press F8, first key's in there, second key's in there, third key's in there. I've left this line in here. I might just sort of comment it out. So I'd go straight to my rubber on the road line, and then we'll press F8, and then inside the dictionary we've got key 1. Key 1's not there, key 2 and key 3. Hashtag dyslexic. So key 2 and key 3, yeah? So we basically have removed key 1, yeah? If we wanted to sort of test that again, we'll press F5. We'll see that the dictionary has got 1, 2, 3 items. We press F8. We can't press F5 because it'll go all the way through, the dictionary disappear. F8, and see key 1 disappears, yeah? So item, and it moves the items up. So the first item becomes key 2, and the second item becomes key 3. So what if we wanted to remove all the items? I might just create a new one, a new procedure. I'll copy this one. Remember, when you paste a procedure, you have to change the name. So I'm just going to say rem all. So I'm going to remove all of the items in the dictionary, yeah? So in this case, we just change this to remove all, and we press enter and we look for the second word to be capitalized, yeah? So we've got our watch window, we've got the D in there, so we will run through the procedure. So we'll just click inside of here, and I'll do it here so you can actually see me clicking it. So I'll press it, and then we'll see the size of our dictionary, 1, 2, 3. Actually, what I might do is just under here, I'll type MSG box, and then I'll go d.count. I should have done it before and afterwards, actually. So, but yeah, you can physically see that we've got 3 items in our dictionary. So we'll press F8. We remove them all. We have a look at the dictionary, and the count says it's 0. But you can see that over here. Yeah. All right. Good stuff. So that's basically how you remove a single item, and also how you remove all. Alrighty, let's make a copy of this procedure, and I'll show you one final item. So let's just move this down, paste, and I'm going to show you how you can compare text, yeah? So we'll call it comp, script comp, okay? Now, watch this sort of peculiarity inside of the dictionary. If I type capital E, so we've got K, capital E, 1, I1, and then we say key 1, I1, yeah? So effectively, these have the same values. So we'll press, I'll just get rid of this, I don't want the last part to go through, and we've got our watch window over here. So we'll press F8, and F8, and F8, and we'll watch what's happening inside the dictionary. Key 1's gone in, key 1's gone in again, and the final one doesn't really matter, yeah? So you can see that they're basically the same. Well, if you were speaking them, they're exactly the same, yet they've gone in, yeah? Because the scripting dictionary sees capitals as different. Now, you might have a data set that is a mixture of capital and lowercase letters, and you don't want that to happen. You want this to be the unique key, no matter what, whether it's capitalized or not. You know, if it's the same sort of in English between each of the items inside of your range, you want only the ones that are unique to go in, yeah? So regardless of the capitalization, yeah? So if we run a procedure above, say, we'll say D dot compare mode. Oh, there it is there. Yeah, I was waiting for it to pop up. Yeah, to compare mode equals, and then we got the options. Now this time we're comparing text, so we'll do text compare. Yeah. So once we've got that in place, when we run through the procedure now, you'll notice I haven't changed anything. It's going to compare the two texts, and it's going to go, right, well, the first one can go in, the second one cannot go in. Yeah. So that way you force the dictionary to only take in like items regardless of their capitalization. Yeah. Sometimes that's important because you don't have control of the raw data set. Alrighty. Well, that's a brief overview into the world of the scripting dictionary. Yeah. So hopefully I'm helping you to unlock that dictionary. Yeah. In our next video, I'll take it to a far more practical level. We will talk about how you push ranges into the dictionary and then how you pull them out of the dictionary into other ranges of a different size. So it might come out, it might go into the dictionary 100,000 rows strong, and it comes out 5 rows, 3 columns strong. Yeah, so how would you do that? All right, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful day. All the very best.